Hi, I'm Peggie Sherry with Face of Courage, and this Educare session, we have Jeanene Fisher from Not a Clue Adventures. Thanks for joining me today.
So glad to be here, Peggy.
Well, I know you are going to teach us all about how to get out of our houses and safely go out into nature. So tell me a little bit about Not a Clue Adventures.
We are a local to Central Florida guide service. We started business about 11 years ago, and we take beginners and families and groups outdoors, show them how to behave responsibly and help them step by step as much as they need to get them active in the outdoors. Whether they're camping, hiking, kayaking, fishing, if they want to be outdoors, we'll make sure that they have a good time doing it.
And you also do some rustic cooking?
Yeah, we have wonderful primitive chef classes that we can do at our location or at theirs.
Ooh, I think that we'll need to do a couple sessions just on the cooking.
Just, we'll try not to bring the calories for those ones.
Oh, well, calories when you cook, you know, primitive cooking, they don't count.
Okay.
I
Let's just
so.
hike those calories off.
Yeah, right. That'll work. So tell us where we can go in the state of Florida to get our outdoor nature on.
Well, we've got quite a few locations we're going to talk about today and give you some wonderful resources where you can go to find the ones closest to where you want to be outdoors, whether it's around the corner from your home or in a different part of the state.
And so there are many differences. It's just not your Hillsborough County Park or your state park. There's so many that you told me about. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So come show me all about it.
Okie dokie, here we go. All right, today we're going to show you how to unlock your access to the outdoors. We've all been cooped up way too long, and it's time to get outside. So first of all, just want to go over a couple points on why we hike. And you can see here on the screen, we've just got a couple of quick bullet points we're going to hit on. Hiking really does rejuvenate the soul, and it does increase your happiness. Not only does it help you get oxygen to your heart, and it really helps keep your mind sharp. And if you're like me and happen to live in a place where nearby woods allow for hiking among the trees, it's all the better. It has been proven that trees provide an extra organic compound benefit. So when you breathe in air when you're out hiking around the trees, that the chemicals in the air actually boost our mood. So we want to be out in nature. Hiking will keep your mind sharper. Actually, you can go walking in a gym on a treadmill for an hour and it's kind of dumb you out. But hiking keeps your mind sharp. The uneven terrain on the hiking trails make your body and your mind have to adjust. It requires navigating over slippery dirt and overhanging branches and hidden obstacles that you might, run into on the trail. So you always have to be alert. Hiking, it really is a powerful workout. In addition to, hiking at a comfortable pace, it also helps you drop your blood pressure. Just being outdoors helps you to just take a deep breath and just breathe a little bit. That will also lower your blood sugar levels. You get a boost in bone density because walking and hiking is a weight-bearing exercise. And then you get the cardio workout, your heart gets happy. And hiking and walking is actually a very joint-friendly exercise. So it's really important to do this arthritis sufferers, it's better for them to be mobile. And this is just going to help. And then it will cement a positive relationship with you in the natural world. If we all have the stamina to walk places, would we use our vehicles so much? You could put less of a carbon footprint on the ground. And it's just all around better to have that connection with nature. It's so important to experience nature personally, not just from a television or reading a book, but to actually be out in it. And those are just some of the reasons that we should hike. When we go outdoors and we start hiking and exploring our wild places, we need to make sure that we are practicing leave no trace principles. This is the best thing for the environment. It helps by following these that you're enjoying the outdoors responsibly. I can do an entire class on just these 7 principles, with plan ahead and prepare being the most important and longest one to cover. You want to make sure that when you go out on a hike, you have your sunscreen and your bug spray and your bathroom kit and an ace bandage in your bag in case you sprain an ankle, and maybe a couple of band-aids, lots of water and snacks. So you also want to have the location where you're going and a map, and that you've told somebody where you're going and when you're coming back. And there's a lot that you need to think about before you go out into the woods. You want to travel and camp on durable surfaces. If you've planned and prepared properly and you have your hiking boots on, if it starts raining and there's a mud puddle in the middle of the trail, you don't walk around that. You just go ahead and walk right through it. That way you're not widening the trail and putting more of an impact on the environment and what you're trying to enjoy. When you're camping, of course, you're not going to put a tent up on a wildflower bed, but the best places for camping typically would be just grass or pine needles. Number 3, you want to dispose of your waste properly. Pack it in, pack it out, they say. That's what you want to do. You want to make sure that when you go to the bathroom, when you have food waste, what you bring, that you carry your food in, that everything is carried out with you. As well as if you take a pet on the trail, you need to make sure to be picking up after your pets. You leave what you find. If you happen to be out and about and you find an arrowhead or something that may come from some sort of an artifact, or even feathers and stones, all of those things have their own place in nature. If you find a piece of a bone, if you leave that bone there, then mice and other animals are going to go ahead and chew on that bone, and that's where they're going to get their minerals from. It's actually illegal to have songbird or raptor feathers in your possession, because you can't prove you weren't the one to cause that animal's demise. So there are a lot of rules and regulations. And if the item is part of an artifact, or is an artifact part of a possible Indian village that you've stumbled across in the woods, and all of a sudden they start digging around, they could name the find after you. You never know. But once you take that item out of the place where it comes from, it loses its value. It becomes just another something on your shelf, and nobody else gets to enjoy it. You always want to minimize your campfire impacts. Super important that you don't put fire where fire doesn't belong or hasn't been. Make sure you're always using fire rings, keeping your fires small. And we're in Florida. Really, in the summertime, do you want to hike all day and then sit around a campfire when it's 90 degrees? No. So we can actually teach and show you ways to have other options for a campfire. Always respect wildlife. If you get close enough to an animal to change its behavior, you've gotten too close. Use the zoom on your camera, use binoculars. If you see a mama and a baby, anything crossing the trail, just stop. Give them their space. Never, ever, for any reason, feed wildlife. It just habituates them to humans. They start coming to humans for food, and that is pretty much a death sentence for anything, be it birds, deer, bear, alligators. And in some instances, it's up to $2,500 fine, especially in the case of alligators. Make sure you give them all their space. And the final principle that we always want to cover is to be nice. Just be considerate to other visitors. They don't come out in the woods to listen to your loud radio or hear you telling a story at the top of your voice to, a group of kids, or just being obnoxious and being in the way. If you're going to take a break, don't sit down in the middle of the trail. take a few steps, go off inside the woods, find a nice little place, lean up against a tree, and that way when they walk by, they're still enjoying what they went out there to enjoy. So we always want to be considerate of others. You need to know what's where, especially in Florida. We've got this ever-changing weather, and you need to always make sure that you have something to cover your head. Hat or visors are really good. Sunglasses, a scarf or bandana is always nice if you can't stand the mosquitoes getting up around your ears. It's just something handy to have. Lightweight, fast-drying clothing. Try to avoid cotton. Cotton is just the worst thing to wear, especially in Florida, because once you sweat and it gets damp, cotton does not just dry. Any type of the technical clothing or the ripstop, like you see in the fishing shirts, those are nice lightweight materials that if they do get wet, they're going to dry rather quickly, and you're not going to be miserable after that, afternoon shower that just plowed through that you weren't expecting. Always take care of your feet. Wool or wool blend socks are really the best way to go. Again, avoid cotton. Just cotton should no longer be on your shopping list for the items that you're going to use outdoors. This will pull the moisture away from your feet and keep your feet healthier and drier. I always, even if it's just a 3 or 4 mile hike, I always keep an extra pair of socks in my day pack. You never know when you're going to have to cross a creek or end up in some water or mud, or if your feet just get to sweating and nasty, and just get clean socks. It'll make your partner happy too. And always try to wear closed-toed shoes or boots. I know a lot of people like hiking in their Tevas, or they've got little trail runners, those kinds of things, and they're really good. But when you're first starting out, if you don't have the strength in your ankles to step over rocks and uneven ground, then you want to make sure you're protecting your ankles until they get stronger. So just a nice pair of hiking boots that just come up over that ankle bone area is going to prevent any chance of sprains. So we want to make sure that you really are taking care of yourself. Now for the fun stuff. Whoops, I just went way ahead. Where to hike. In Florida, we have thousands of miles of trails, and people don't understand how much wild area there is still remaining in Florida, or that has been set aside within or around developments so that we can still be close to nature. So some of the places we're going to cover today are local and county parks, state and national parks, state and national forests, wildlife management areas, national wildlife refuges, and management districts. And once we finish running through the PowerPoint, we'll actually take you to the website so you can see where to find these. And now we're going the wrong way. Sorry about that. All right, so local and county parks. Every county all over the United States has parks. When city planners are getting together, they know the value of being outdoors. And so some of our local counties like Hillsborough, Pasco, and Pinellas have some really exciting places that you can check out. By going to the county website and looking under recreation, you can see a lot of these websites or a lot of these trails. And we'll take you to a location here in just a little bit to show you where you can find some of those. There's also just long trails in towns like the Riverwalk. We've got the Sunshine, not Sunshine Skyway, but we got the trail that runs from Hillsborough all the way up into Crystal River. So there's the Withlacoochee Trail. It's a bike trail, another wonderful way to go down in Indian Rocks Beach to Clearwater. There's another trail. These are nice places to go to just start building up your stamina, start walking. Walking's more, when you're on the asphalt, a nice even terrain, but that's still going to build up muscles that you're not used to using. And where in Florida can you not access a beach? We've got the best beaches in the United States right here. East or west, either way we go, we've got some beaches. So please just get out there and enjoy them. Now, one bonus that we have in Hillsborough County is the annual Hillsborough County Hiking Spree. And it is just a fun activity to do, whether with your kids or your girlfriends. It normally runs March to November. I'm sorry, November to March. And we'll be starting again in November. You get to a list of trails that you can hike within Hillsborough County. And if you complete 8 of these trails between November 1st and March 31st, keep track of your hikes with a brochure, which you can download. You can take the form to one of the locations that are collecting the Hiking Spree program recordings, and you can pick up a patch or a medallion that is specifically made for Hillsborough County Parks and changes each year. So it's something that you can start collecting and wear as a badge of honor. You can hike the same location multiple times. It doesn't mean you have to go somewhere different every time, but I think you'll get excited and want to see some of these wonderful places that they've picked out to share with us. State and national parks. Went too far again. Florida has 175 gold medal award-winning state parks. There are trails and historic sites are thrown in there too, and we have some of the best parks in the nation. We are really blessed, and Hillsborough River State Park right here in Tampa is one of those. You cannot go wrong heading out to hike at Hillsborough River State Park unless you go out in June, July, and August, when you absolutely have to have bug repellent. But in the winter months, these trails are absolutely gorgeous. You're not going to have to worry about any little bugs zooming around you. And that's my favorite time to hike. Hiking season in Florida normally runs from October, November, all the way into April, May. If you're going to hike in the summer, just hike in the morning before the heat of the day comes out and starts raining. It always starts raining. So I'll show you how to find these state parks, and you can go yourself to floridastateparks.org, and we can give you a resource just a little while that you'll be able to download a list of all these links. There's also 3 national parks in Florida. I've talked to many people over the years, and they can only ever think of one, but we do have 3 national parks. You can get information on those at nps.gov, or you can also find a list of the trails that are available. And you're going to want to hike these places. Florida also has a wonderful array of state forests. These forests are overseen by the Florida State Forest Service, and there's 35 of them covering over 1 million acres. 1 million acres. You cannot hike all of this in your lifetime, I promise you. If you hit every trail I'm showing you today, and you started at the age of 5, by 95, you still wouldn't have hit all these trails. You don't even have to hike a trail twice. The Florida State Forest Service also has something called a trail walker program, which is very similar to the program with Hillsborough River State Park. You hike a number of trails, and they're going to give you a patch. And the first patch that you get is going to be the one you see in the middle of the screen where it says Florida State Forest Trail Walker. You hike another 10 and you get the Trailblazer. And when you've hiked 30 trails, you actually get the top little badge, and then you become a trail master. And that means you've walked 30 trails. And that's bragging rights. We've got a couple of these trails local here. One of them is right with Lacucci State Forest, and that would be the Citrus Loop A. So it's not too far away. It's just up in Brooksville. It's a beautiful hike, and it even has some elevation changes. Also in Florida, we have national forests. And again, most people don't realize that we have national forests in addition to our state forests. Ocala is the first one that comes to mind, but we also have the Apalachicola and the Osceola. In 1908, President Roosevelt signed paperwork and made the Ocala National Forest right out of nothing. And as the 3rd national forest east of the Mississippi, only Chippewa National Forest in northern Minnesota and El Joque and Puerto Rico were as beloved or are as old as our beloved Ocala Forest. And We also have the Osceola, which was established in 1931, and in 1932, the Apalachicola. This is our largest state forest and has 567,000 plus acres. So when you add up all of our state forest lands, you could be walking a long time before you get a chance to even see half of what they have to offer. Wildlife management areas are another wonderful place to go and enjoy. But you need to keep in mind that these are some of the wildest places in Florida to go. And most folks ask, well, what is a wildlife management area? These are places that have been set aside. These are special lands where plants and animals can live, be managed, conserved. These lands are often used for hunting. They're used for protecting endangered species, and they usually don't have toilets and other things that are going to make you very comfortable. Sometimes the maps are a little harder to read, and you're most often not going to have a cell signal out there. So with over 5.8 million acres of land, again, you're not going to see all these, no matter how you try. I've been doing this business for over 11 years, and I might have seen an area as big as Honeymoon Island as far as compared to the state of Florida, just because it's virtually impossible to go to all these places. You've got to pick what you love. Some people like hiking by the beach. Some people like hiking in the forest. Some people want to see an elevation change. Other people just want a nice smooth walk with flushing toilets nearby. So we got to make sure that we hike where we're comfortable. So the wildlife management areas, they support 425,000 jobs in Florida, and they have an economic impact of $58.6 billion. These are something that's really important to just keep out there. Bicyclists, horseback riders, kayakers, canoeists, photographers. A lot of people enjoy these wildlands. If you are planning to go out and enjoy a wildlife management area, the very first thing to do is check the brochures that they have on each property at myfwc.com and make sure that you are not out there maybe wanting to do photography one day and then find out it's one of the weekends that they are allowing hunting, because that's going to take away from your enjoyment, and it's going to take away from the enjoyment for the hunters as well. And through the Pittman-Robertson Act, that a lot of these lands can be purchased because of the hunters. They pay a very high tax to do what they do, and those monies are matched 100% by the Pittman-Robertson Act. And from there, we have the money to protect our wild lands. The best thing you can do to protect land and conserve land in the state of Florida is to buy a hunting or a fishing license. That money stays 100% in Florida. So even if you're not an active hunter, if you want to make a donation to a cause that's going to go 100% into our conservation, buy a hunting license. Water management districts are very important to Florida. We have 5. The entire state is separated into 5 different districts. And these districts are in charge of making sure that we have clean water and we have access to water, even in times of drought. They're going to make sure that the land is properly managed so that there's no pollution, there's no overuse, and our local area is managed by the Southwest Florida Water Management District, also known as SwiftMud. Sure, people have heard that thrown around a few times, but SwiftMud actually manages 65 sites that you can hike at right here in Florida. And we're going to visit their website here in just a minute. So everybody asks, where do we hike? And our favorites are the Hillsborough River State Park to top. I mean, it's 15 minutes from my home. Absolutely love it. Circle B Bar Reserve in Lakeland, another just wonderful location to enjoy. There's more wildlife that can be seen at the Circle B than pretty much anywhere locally. All you have to do is go to their Facebook page, just do a search for Circle B, and you're going to see some of the most amazing photography. They open at 5 o'clock in the morning just for the photographers and the bird watchers. So you can get in there and stay from morning through dusk and really get an eyeful of critters. The St. Mark's National Wildlife Refuge up in the Panhandle is where they do the annual butterfly counts for the monarchs as they get ready to fly across the Gulf of Mexico, which is a huge thing for a little butterfly. It's amazing the different wildlife you're going to see up there. And they have some trolleys you can take if you don't want to walk around or you get too tired. But I definitely suggest going up there and enjoying that. One of our favorite local trails in the Withlacoochee State Forest, right up in Brooksville, and that's called the Citrus Loop. There are 4 loops, A, B, C, D, and each loop has something new and exciting to offer. There's a lot of primitive campsites, so if you wanted to do some larger loops and you've gotten used to hiking and you want to try some backpacking, there's really nice places you can just go in and spend the night in the woods and listen to the forest come to life after the sun goes down. And if you're a beach hiker, Honeymoon Island State Park has some of the most beautiful sights to see. You can drive on over and you don't have to just stop at the beach. Go all the way out, follow the trails to the end of the island where you can see Anclote Key. You can do this by walking up the beach at low tide, or you can go and see the eagles or the barred owl nest or the great blue heron nest that line the Osprey Trail, which is covered in osprey nests. So if you're into birds, this is a wonderful place to enjoy. You'll see raccoons and gopher tortoise and all kinds of butterflies, and it really is a fun place to explore. Whoops. So what is Nautical Adventures? To wrap it up, we're your private guide service. We're here, we live here. I've been in Florida over 25 years. I've been hiking and exploring Florida for almost 20 of that. We are here to show you and tell you where to go to see the things that you want to see. If you want to give us a call because your aunt or cousin or best friend's coming in town and you want her to see manatee, we can give you some of the best places that you can go to do that. If you just want to find a place where you can hike by your house, or if you're interested in an overnight river trip, or you want to try camping out, we're here. We want to help you. We don't charge money for our advice. Give us a call anytime. We want to help you get outdoors and enjoy the outdoors. So now let's go to a couple of these websites so that you can be comfortable finding these locations on your own. The first site we're going to visit is the Southwest Florida Water Management District site. And all you have to do is just a search for Southwest Florida Water Management. This site's going to come up. You're going to click on where it says Recreation. So once you arrive to the Recreation tab, you'll be able to go down to where it says Hike. So it lists a bunch of different ways you can recreate on their properties. So you can go to Hike, click on that, and it's going to pull up all the properties that have hiking trails. And you can see here, just to start, there's Alafaya River, Brooker Creek. There's also the Brooker Creek Headwaters Preserve. And you can go on and on. So we're just going to click on one to give you an idea what it looks like when you see it. So let's just do Edward Menard Park. And each one of these properties is set up the same way. So you're going to get an overview, you're going to get an address, a photo, and a map. So you'll see currently Edward Menard is still closed, and that's just for a short time while we finish recovering. I am sorry about this. So on each location, you'll find a map. If you click on that map, it'll enlarge, and you can see that all the information you need on the trails is available right here. So you can take the trail maps with you. Don't count on them being at the kiosk or at the trailhead when you go to hike. Always make sure you take a map with you. Next site we're going to visit is the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. This is where you're going to find the information out about the WMAs. You would click on places to go. You can explore the map all the way to the left. And here you'll find a very nice interactive map showing all of the locations that are available for you to hike. And you can search by name. And you can also get all the brochures and information. So you can see that there's 5 entrances to visit just this one location. So definitely check out the site for the information on these locations. Also, there's the Florida State Parks website. Their website is very well done and shows all of their locations. You can shop specifically for camping and lodging locations, or you can just go to Find a Park, and Find a Park will take you to all of the different locations that they have. I had mentioned earlier that there was a location to find all the county parks, and that's at floridasmart.com. And then you would just /parks/county. You can see here the county parks such as Fort DeSoto, Lafayette Blue Springs, Marina Park, and so many others that you can go and enjoy. Services over the National Wildlife Refuge System. We have another large area of places to go and explore. If you go to visit and then find a refuge, you can actually search by location. And as you can see, there's quite a few right in the Florida area. The National Park System is nps.gov. And you can also research here all of the locations. One nice thing about their site is they give you a lot of different information on the hikes, the trails, where you can go, and some of the things that you need to know in advance. Most national parks, you're going to have a permit. Some of these permits are available at an additional fee. For many of the locations in Florida, in the forest, in the state forest and the national forest, there is no charge for these permits, but some locations do require a permit. That way, if there's an emergency such as a forest fire, or they're scheduling a controlled burn, or your car's sitting out there a couple days longer than it should, they're going to make sure that they know where you're at, where you were hiking to, and how to get you out of there. We have a lot of photos. We have our adventure journal, and we have a blog where we put stories up for many of the different places that we go. And for reference, if you would like to. So by clicking on our blog, you're going to get a lot of information that we've covered today, as well as information on different locations and some other wonderful fun things you can do. Our most recent post at this time is how to take a hike. This will go over some of the different information that we gave you today. And if you go ahead and scroll down, we have a free resource available for you. Right here, you'll say, click here for a free download. If you click on that and you give us your name and email address, we are going to give you a copy of all of the links that we went over today and a few more. So you don't have to worry about trying to find those locations again, just surfing on the internet. We actually give you hot links to each and every one of those resources.
Wow, Jeanene, that is just amazing. I didn't know that there were so many places in Florida that we could go. So tell me what your website link is one more time where they can get that free download.
It's notaclueadventures.com. You can go to the blog that's titled Take a Hike. It's about halfway down the page.
Wow, you have given us so much information. So whether we like to walk near the beach or go out in the forest or do different elevations, there's something in Florida for everyone. Just in the summer, we want to do it early in the day or late in the afternoon so that we don't torch ourselves with the heat out there. But I can't wait to get my boots on and start walking around this state, and hope to run into you there soon.
Well, we hope to see you there, and just remember, hike safe.